It was not until between 1915 and 1927 that 10 of the U.S. states passed prohibition laws for cannabis. Yet still, pharmaceutical companies were allowed to continue extract production for medicinal use. In 1936, the U.S. federal government recommended a prohibitive taxation of cannabis, which was, interestingly enough, publicly denounced by the American Medical Association in 1937. In the 1950s, cannabis was classified as a dangerous drug in the U.S. and other nations, a position that was opposed at the time by the global scientific community and continues to be contradicted by scientific evidence. In 1976, the Netherlands were among the first nations to decriminalize cannabis use, and in that same year, the U.S. was the first legal court decision passed that declared cannabis actually was of medical benefit for glaucoma. In 1978, New Mexico was the first U.S. state to pass a law recognizing the medical benefits of cannabis. And ironically, in 1981, the U.S. federal government made the classification of cannabis much stricter as a Schedule I hard drug. From 1990 to the present, international scientific studies of medical benefits of cannabis have grown dramatically. In 1996, California was the first U.S. state to fully legalize medical cannabis, and by 2013, there were 23 states, Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, Guam, Israel, and Canada, which had legalized medical cannabis. In the last 2 years, 4 U.S. states, Colorado, Washington, Oregon, and Alaska, and all Native American reservations have fully legalized cannabis. In 2006, this is an interesting point, the Presbyterian Church of the United States formally issued a public statement approving medical cannabis. In 2013, Uruguay was the first country to fully legalize cannabis, while globally, as of 2015, there are now 37 countries that have decriminalized personal possession of cannabis, even with the unique case of Australia, which has decriminalized the right to grow a limited number of plants for personal use. In the Caribbean, CARICOM has established a cannabis commission in 2015 to discuss reforms for its 15 member states' cannabis laws, while Belize, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Jamaica have already decriminalized personal possession quantities to less than 1 and 2 ounces. And even last year, here on St. Martin, cannabis was actually decriminalized for a very small amount of personal possession. Following recent public statements by their respective ministers of health, it has been projected that both Jamaica and Canada will fully legalize cannabis in the next year. As well, a statement by the USDA in April of this year stated that they will call for a federal recommendation to reduce the restrictive Schedule I classification of cannabis in the U.S. In these legal developments, there are 2 key legal issues which do affect the legalization of the countries considering it. One is signatory representation to international treaties on illicit drug trade and signatory responsibilities to international banking treaties. Those are 2 issues that are crucial issues in the discussion in the final aspects for legalization. As we've all seen in the growing media coverage from CNN to the American Medical Association of the proven medical benefits of cannabis, as well as the many other uses of the plant itself, as noted here, we are seeing a growing number of countries such as Jamaica, Canada, and the USA who are making reforms in their drug policies related to cannabis. The point is this discussion today is to open public awareness to the significant potentials of cannabis so that reforms can eventually happen here as well. Indeed, for examples of parallels to natural plant use, we can mention the local use of bush tea here on St. Martin. However, I'm reminded of another plant that suffered a similar fate of unfair negative indoctrination, which many of you may not know of, the tomato plant. Until the mid-18th century in North America, old wives' tales had it that the tomato plant was poisonous. It was called the devil's apple because it was part of the nightshade family of plants. It was not until more scientific investigation by such distinguished persons as Thomas Jefferson that the tomato was actually found to be not only healthy, but a highly potential food crop. That same Thomas Jefferson who was growing cannabis crops for hemp and medicinal use. Cannabis has also been unfairly treated in the public media, with the creation of a false reputation since the 1930s as being dangerous and evil, when in fact it has actually been proven to be beneficial to health and certainly far less dangerous than alcohol, tobacco, and other prescription drugs.
Only Hilux overcomes Hilux. A new era for pickup.
Need a loan that's quick and easy. Island Finance. Up to 50,000 guineas real easy. Island Finance. For education, yes. A renovation, that's no problem. Yes, it's true. That's not all. They're quick and friendly too. Island Finance. Appliances, vacations, even fix your car. You can depend on Island Finance.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Oh my, what an inventory list, and so unnecessary. But wait, your home contents are all insured by Be Sure. That means that you determine the amount you want to insure. No inventory list, no hassle.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Bob, I can understand why you're parking so carefully. Of course, when you can get 80% discount on your Be Sure car insurance. But that's overdoing it, Bob.
Are you Be Sure? Be Sure.
Yeah.
Life is a journey full of connections. You're in safe hands even when life starts too soon. You don't have to miss a single beat. When a bad hair day makes you sad, just sharing can bring you joy and more to come. They take the plunge, turn fear into faith, while you capture those beautiful moments. In the game of life, it's family that counts. They'll be there even when you lose. We all have our moments of reflection and hope. And when you feel you're losing everything in life, We're there because there's more to come. When life starts too soon, you don't have to miss a single beat. We're here to connect you and share life. Telcel, when you want more.
This is freedom, this is life. Happiness is all I'm seeking. Carpe diem, I'm seizing every day, not just the weekend. Here's to all the good times that have come to last. Here's to living in the now.
When you can afford what you crave, life just gets so
So
good.
alive and I'm feeling good, so good, so good, so good. Hey, I'm gonna live my life, feeling good, so good, real good, so
KFC, so good for everyone.
In 2014, there was a draft amendment to the comptabiliteitsverordening which was submitted to the Council of Advice. The Council of Advice looked at that draft and gave its comments to the draft. According to the Council of Advice at the time, there was quite some things that had to be changed in this draft ordinance to make it ripe for consideration by Parliament. In the meantime, the Integrity Project program was, a group was formed for that, and within the context of that group, they would take with them the commentary and the changes that need to be made to the comptability ordinance to get it finalized. A new report was made and prepared. That new report, including the vetting by the Judicial Affairs, JZNW, is going to be completed by September 1st, 2016, and readied for submission to Parliament by September 1st, 2016. So that's where that stands. In addition thereto, there is a work group that is busy with a landsbesluit HAM relative to the bidding on contracts and services, especially the question as to in which instances exceptions can be made to the requirement to send projects out to bid. That draft, according to information I have, will be ready by August 1st, 2016 for submission to the Council of Ministers for their approval. The question was posed by Madam Chair, a Member of Parliament, Sarah Westcott Williams, was, what is the status of the economic framework document undertaken by the former Minister of TIAT? That was in 2015 when that economic summit was organized. The Department of Economic Affairs have been writing a report. I have a copy of the draft report that they're working on. It is not yet completed, but according to the Economic Department, it will be ready by the end of June 2016. So that's where that stands. And the question was asked, what is the view of the minister on the framework for fiscal reform presented by my predecessor in September 2015? And reference was made to VAT. In the reform, it was being looked at as not being the best solution. I am fully in favor of the entire package for tax reform as was left behind by the previous government. The execution thereof has a lot to do with writing the laws to make it happen, and there again we find ourselves with shortage in the fiscal department with the necessary individuals that have to be there and constraints. As I mentioned earlier, we have to make some serious investments in across the board in our tax department. And when I say serious investments, I am thinking in the range of 20 million. I could share with you too that I am in conversation with the CFT because if we don't do this now, we're going to run into serious problems starting next year. The Secretariat of the CFT is going to get together with the staff of finance to work out the possibilities to see how this 20 million can be generated, because they too realize that it's only a path to debt if you don't do this. From a business point of view, it makes all sense. If you were to borrow 20 million, you take, and I'm going to that now because somebody had asked that the last time too, what is the compliance ratio? The compliance ratio is 22%. 22%. To put that in perspective, Curacao compliance ratio is 30%. The compliance ratio in the region is 34%. Now I should, in full disclosure also to you, the compliance ratio in Aruba is 24%. Each percentage point of compliance as far as St. Martin is concerned represents 20 million euros.
It's been said that behind every door, possibility awaits. How much possibility depends on which door you open first. Every day, we help our customers discover the possibilities in their lives. It all starts with a conversation. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Only Hilux overcomes Hilux. A new era for pickup.
These are the doors that never close. These are the hands that make a difference. These are the walls that could tell countless stories of helping and healing, of storms weathered, of change and growth, of a place where life begins, where hearts are mended, and where hope grows stronger. For more than a quarter of a century, the physicians, medical professionals, and staff of St. Martin Medical Center have combined advanced medical technology and compassionate care to bring a world of medicine to our friends, neighbors, and visitors to the island of St. Martin we all call home. As proud as we are of what we have accomplished, we believe there is still much work to do to continue a proud tradition of providing everyone in our community with the latest technology, the best medicine, and the most exceptional care. St. Martin Medical Center, celebrating 25 years of serving, caring, healing.
One,
2,
3,
4. This is how common it is to develop a mental illness. 1 out of every 4.
4,
4.
4. But there is hope. Today, most mental illnesses can be managed and treated. Visit your general doctor if you feel concerned about your thoughts and behaviors or have some difficulty dealing with some of life's issues.
If you have been diagnosed and are suffering from a mental illness, keep in mind these 4 points to help you manage your mental health.
1. Get regular checkups with your general doctor.
2. Stay on your treatment plan to prevent relapses.
3. Find a strong support group in your family and friends.
And 4. Never be afraid to ask for help and look out for the warning signs of your illness.
Remember, you are not alone. We are as close as one.
2.
3.
4.
Learn about mental health illness by going to the Mental Health Foundation's website at www.mhf-sxm.com.
It's a sort of a mix to have a few experienced individuals. Some of them might be young, but young with experience. That is the opportunity we are offering everyone who would like to share their vision, their experience with USP. We are very much open, not only for young people, but also for, let's say, those older professionals to advise, even in an advisory role as we speak, is important for USP.
Is former member of Parliament Praveen Bill running on the list?
Well, at this present time, we are not sure. As we speak, there is no commitment, but if there is any commitment, you will hear it first from USP. If that is, he would be a candidate with USP. But at this time, I can't say yes and I can't say no.
Okay, on that note,
did your party submit its annual account to the electoral council?
Yes, we did.
For the 1st of April?
Yes, we did. Well, we don't have no money, so it shouldn't be no problem.
Okay, on that note, I would like to thank.
Wait.
So far, how are you satisfied with the coalition? Do they have any problems, major or small problems within the coalition that you're supporting?
Well, so far I have to say this is one of the better coalition that I'm a part of. I'm very happy with the coalition at this time as I speak. It's very much a coalition of, how would I say it, inclusion of information. We meet every Monday morning at 8:30, the entire coalition of 15, which includes the members who support the coalition and the ministers, every Monday morning at 8:30, and we go over the issues that still are pending and what needs to be done where this government is concerned. So I'm very much happy. Yes, you may not get everything you want done, but nevertheless, there's serious dialogue and communication where that's concerned in this coalition. So yes, I'm very happy. There is no issues with the coalition. I look forward in us continuing up until election time to do the job that was allowed, was given to us by the people of St. Martin.